knockout tournament, which, by the way, you can go on our website and enter the promo code, or not the promo code, but the code SEAT, S-E-A-T. That's our code for today that you can put in on 97.5thefanatic.com for your chance to win tickets to Sixers Wizards and then to knockout after. Of course, that's sponsored by Barlow Chevrolet and Del Rand. For honest pricing and dedicated service, go ahead and check them out. But also, we got the deal of the week back here, and Arnold's Family Fun Center. It's nice that Salciunas isn't here for this, Johnny, because he always talks about how he'd whoop us at go-karts or mini golf. Well, Arnold's Family Fun Center has all of it. Get two $50 point cards for the price of one to Arnold's Family Fun Center in Oaks, PA. Basically, you're getting a free $50. And they got those go-karts, mini golf, bowling, and more action-packed excitement for all ages at Arnold's. Get this exclusive offer while supplies last at 97.5thefanatic.com/deals. We would smoke him in mini golf. I have seen him drive, though.
We would absolutely smoke him in mini golf.
I'd be worried about
regular golf.
Yeah, I'd be worried about him clipping us in the go-kart, though, Salciunas. So we'll have to see.
I think he'd be ultra-aggressive.
I think so, too.
I think you would be.
They say no bumping on those things. I'm pro-bumping.
Get out of here.
I'm pro-bumping. Rubbing's racing.
I can just tell you, down in Destin, they had one of these, and Liv and I would sit in the two-seater one, and we'd go out there, and there's supposed to be no bumping. My wife wouldn't talk to me on the drive home twice from the place to go back to our rental place. She was so pissed. She's like, "You could have flipped that thing." I'm like, "Honey, they're not going to flip.
They're go-karts.
They're go-karts. They're not going to flip. We're on the highway."
Hey, man, got to take it seriously at Arnold's Family Fun Center up there. So go ahead and check out the Fanatic deal of the week. Now, Howie Roseman handles everything well. Just like Arnold's handles go-karts and mini golf and bowling and everything, Howie Roseman is a versatile man. So I want us to rank 4 different aspects of his job based on what we trust him most with. So this is like, if I give Howie Roseman an opportunity to work with this aspect of his job, I am most confident in which one for him to be successful.
Okay.
Here are the 4. The NFL draft, free agency, trades, and cap management. So I'll give that to you one more time. The draft, free agency, trades, and cap management. I'd say that pretty much encompasses the responsibilities of a GM from the outside perspective of the fan base. So I think there's one that we could all agree on. Cap management has got to be number 1 for Howie Roseman.
It's got to be one.
Okay, so we could put that at the top of the list. Now it gets interesting, though, because with trades, free agency, and the draft on the table, he's been really good at the draft, but he's also had some fleece trades. Free agency, is that 4 out of these? Is that last place, you think?
I'm going cap, draft, free agency, trades.
Cap, draft, free agency, and you're putting trades last.
Trades last.
Can you explain? Because I think he's had some pretty solid trades recently.
I think he's also done some of his pickups and some of his trades, like especially the in-season ones, have been hold your nose bad, really bad. And I think if you take free agency, he's done better in free agency than
Okay. I don't think that's unfair. I think maybe
you could easily switch either one.
Draft being second, though, I think might be somewhere we all have to agree.
You think so? I mean, I don't know about the draft because up until this year when they all panned out at once, there was a lot of questions about his drafting skills until these guys all panned out this year.
Well,
Jordan Davis was a big question mark. Nolan Smith was a big question mark.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys on the defensive side of the ball, he was not good at until they finally panned out years later.
But
this is 4 years, though. 4 years, first 3 rounds, 12 guys that are major contributors to this team.
Yeah, offense, he's been consistently good. Great. Defense, there were some question marks until they all panned out this year.
Right, but they don't exist anymore. You can't
now
live in the
they
world.
don't, but
you can't live in the world of Jalen Carter as a question mark.
Yeah,
Jordan Davis is a question mark.
That was also a can't miss.
Now, look, Jordan Davis is, to me, Jordan Davis is still a question mark of whether I want to extend him.
Yeah, I don't.
To me, I think Jordan Davis could potentially be replaceable. I need to see him one more time and then make that decision.
But he's not a question mark as far as being an NFL player.
No. But I don't believe. How about this? I don't believe. What was he drafted? 16th? Or 15th?
Jordan Davis?
13th.
He was
actually.
13th because Kyle Hamilton was 12.
Went 14.
And Kenyon
14 swept it. Yeah.
I would absolutely believe he hasn't come close to justifying his draft status.
I'm good with that.
Not even close.
I'm not okay with that.
I love Jordan Davis and what he brings to the team, but he hasn't come close to that.
Yeah, but Bren, you can't say, well, these guys were question marks until they weren't. I don't know.
I'm not saying he's bad at it. I'm just saying I don't know if I'd put that
So
second.
what do you have second then?
Right now, I had free agency second. I think he's been pretty much on a heater for that for a long time.
Bryce Huff, Devin White.
Yeah, but
two of his top three last year. His top three expenditures were
Zach
disasters.
Bond,
Saquon Barkley, Mekhi Becton.
Well, Saquon Barkley.
Like you're not going to bat 100%.
I got to tell you, I'm not really going, oh my gosh, Howie, dude, you saw Saquon Barkley was a great talent? I'm not doing that.
Yeah, but it's like Jalen Carter. It's like he was the top-rated prospect.
Yeah,
so
but he went and got him. But he went and got Jalen Carter. And that works under trades, by the way. It's draft, but it's also trade.
It is a trade.
It's also trade.
Oh, we might have
it's also trade. I just got to be objective.
Now,
he went up and got. I have no idea why the Bears let the Eagles slide into 9 to take him.
Yeah,
no idea.
And when I say draft it and put it lower than some of these, it's like splitting hairs though. Right here, he's the greatest GM in sports.
Let's go back to Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter. A lot of teams. The reason he didn't go off the board is because a lot of teams wouldn't touch him because of them not understanding or getting to know what went on that fateful night at the University of Georgia.
Yeah, but in hindsight, it's kind of silly to me that anybody passed on him because there was a lot of question marks at the time.
They didn't want negative publicity. They were afraid. They hadn't done their homework and saw he's a mile and a half from the accident that happened. It wasn't. People were like, he was drag racing. Yes, he was, but he was sitting at a traffic light when the car crashed. He wasn't even near them. He was a mile and a half from them.
That aside, you can't use hindsight to be like what Jalen Carter has turned into the same way as the other guys. You have to evaluate Howie Roseman and what he did in the moment.
Okay, well, the Saquon thing, people weren't signing a running back.
Oh, no.
Right.
I raised my hand. I didn't want it. I did not want to pay big money to a running back. Certainly looks like a great expenditure now.
Credit for all of these things. And
I also wouldn't have upped him this much this offseason.
And
not even close.
We'll worry about that one in 2-3 years.
Hopefully.
And we probably will have a point where we look at that Saquon Barkley contract and say, okay, we got to find a way to work with this. But here's the funny thing. This offseason, if I had to ask you of those four things, cap management, draft, free agency, and trades, which one is most important to the Eagles' strategy this offseason?
Draft.
Yeah, 100% draft.
I say draft. What do you say, cap management?
Cap management.
I say draft.
Cap management opens up the opportunity for you to focus on the draft.
Yeah, because I think going back to that whiteboard thing, you guys were talking about the next move, but I think the thing on the top of that whiteboard is the Jalen Carter extension, and everything. Every decision up until that point is leading up into that.
So I have draft as two. I would say that the top two things that we would give Howie Roseman proper grades for would be the top two things that are required of this Philadelphia Eagles offseason. And even if they're not, we can interchange any of the bottom three and know that cap management is number one for his skill set. He's the perfect GM for what the Eagles are looking for. Now, he's the perfect GM anyway, but that should make you feel good that Howie Roseman's expertise is in the area the Eagles need it to be.
I'm happy to take responsibility for all of that.
You should be, Howie, and we're proud to have you here in this city. All right, coming up next, we are going to talk a little bit about the teams that have made a step up and also Johnny's whole thing with luck. We're going to have the St. Patrick's Day outfit conversation, but also...
Thank you so much for checking out our content on the 97.5 The Fanatic YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed the video. And remember, you can always be checking the playlist. There may be something you missed from one of our shows during the day that you want to go back and check out. So every time you like a video, like it, subscribe to the channel, and you'll have that great content coming to you every single day. You're greatly appreciated.